What's up, guys? I've got another Open Ultra video for you guys today. It is almost the same team, same core, Talonflame, Obstagoon, but we've flipped the script. We've switched the lead and the closer, changed the team, the way the team plays. We've switched up the safe switch. No Gengar, bye-bye Gengar, hello Alolan Muck. And this team has been absolutely killing it in Ultra. After these sets you see here, I've climbed almost all the way to Expert. I had to switch back to Premier because of the long queue times for the stream. But we've been ping-ponging back and forth between those two, and this team has been absolutely killing it in Ultra, and we're playing against the best that Open Ultra has to offer at this point in the game. So huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Could not be doing this without you guys, and let's get into some gameplay. So let's talk a little bit about this team. If you've watched the last video, you already know all about the Talonflame Obstagoon core. In the previous video, we had Obstagoon as the lead, so we had Gengar as the switch to kind of bait out the Talonflame counters. That's not how this works, though. You can't just switch your lead and your closer and keep the same switch and pray that it's going to be the same thing, right? It's a completely different scenario. Gengar baits out stuff like Snorlax, stuff that Obstagoon wants to see, whereas it's not going to be able to bait out and not going to be able to come in a lot of Pokemon in the lead, like Talonflame. For example, Giratina Altered. It's pretty tough to switch your Gengar into that, because they apply so much pressure to you with Shadow Claws. And same with a lot of these tanky dark types. But now that we have Alolan Muck as the switch, Alolan Muck's job is to bait out the fighters, the counter users, I guess. So Escavalier is included in that as well. And the Charmers. Obstagoon doesn't want to see those, obviously. So it has a completely different role than Gengar did. Well, I guess the same role, but for different Pokemon. And then now, with Talonflame in the lead, we can abuse Brave Bird a lot more as well, as we have the opportunity to just switch out right at the beginning. Brave Bird does a ton of damage. Flame Charge isn't that much cheaper, so a lot of times just going straight for it can win you games. So let's step into this game here. I don't quite get to that Brave Bird, but okay. Obstagoon versus Giratina. Kind of a no-brainer situation here. Obstagoon is not going to have any troubles. I'm surprised my opponent has not left at this point. But maybe it was a Dragon Breath Giratina, but not a Shadow Claw Giratina. So the other good thing about this core, there's two Pokemon with boost potential, right? Talonflame Flame Charging with 2 shields up, or Obstagoon. If you double shield Obstagoon, there's a good chance you'll get a boost by the end of the game. It's not uncommon for Obstagoon to throw 5 Night Slashes even with 2 shields, maybe even 6. At that point, you're looking at over a 50% chance of a boost. It can be absolutely game-changing. So Escavalier, we just talked about it. We're going to switch right into Lapras, and we're going to switch into Obstagoon. The reason we do this, twofold, right? Obstagoon is the best answer to Lapras, and Obstagoon is the worst answer to Escavalier. In this case, I misplayed the scenario a little bit. So I tank an Ice Beam, which is good. You want to get low, but instead of farming a little bit more, I decided to throw the Cross Chop and undercharge it a little bit, and I take a little bit more damage so I don't get farmed as much by Escav. In this case, I do want to get to this Night Slash though. Night Slash does a decent amount of damage, but at the same time, I don't want this Escav swinging back and forth and bringing a ton of energy into my Talonflame. So now it depends what they have in the back. They show us their Gyarados, and now Alolan Muck has to play the 2 shield versus Gyarados to try and win this game for me. Alolan Muck doesn't have to KO this Gyarados, but Alolan Muck has to get it low enough that an Incinerate or 2 can take it out, or Incinerate or a Flame Charge. This Gyarados going for Aqua Tails. I just know I'm shielding everything on Muck. I need to win, or I need to have Alolan Muck kind of carry this for me. Because technically I could have gone into Talonflame as well and just Flame Charge it down with 2 shields, because the Aqua Tails don't hurt Muck that much, but landing a Dark Pulse is extremely important. And then I'll switch into Talonflame. My opponent makes a great catch, so this is one of the main downsides of playing Talonflame or any Incinerate user. It is impossible, almost impossible to catch moves, and it is almost impossible to have moves not get caught against you. If they're good with their timings, they're going to know exactly when they can switch, and there's not much you can do without waiting a whole lot or throwing an extra move. And either way, you're going to get locked into something you probably don't want to do if you don't throw your moves when you're trying to throw them. Big disadvantage for 5-turn users. On the flip side, they can let full fast moves through. right? They can allow you to get a full Incinerate through, which can be game changing, can be game winning, right? But that's the thing is running Incinerate kind of, it all comes down to the ability of your opponents to throw their fast moves at the correct time. So versus this Articuno, I bait first because it's an Icy Wind user. These guys love to shield that first move. Second move, we're going straight Sludge Wave. And this Articuno, going to throw this Icy Wind here. But they undercharge it, so my Muck is able to get to another move. Obviously, this Dark Pulse won't KO, right? I'm debuffed twice now, but that extra damage is nice. Being able to just get this, this Articuno a little bit lower so that I don't really have to spend shields. So Ice is not resisted by Talonflame. And that Icy Wind kind of hurts. So build up to that Brave Bird off that Articuno. Even though we're debuffed, we're just going to throw it. It does a ton of damage if they want to let through. Look at that, half HP. But they managed to CMP tie the Dragon Claw, and yeah, that does a lot of damage. Triple debuffed, right, with the Brave Bird. I think it's triple debuffed. Does a ton of damage, but I predicted there would be another Ice type in the back. Sometimes Lapras, sometimes Abomasnow. If it's Lapras, you really don't want Talonflame up there. You want that fighting damage that Obstagoon can output. And I save my shields for Obstagoon, and it turns out to be the correct choice. We see this Lapras here in the back. Surf probably does a little bit more damage than Dragon Claw. It's really close. These charge moves are pretty inconsequential for the most part. Obstagoon is just going to shield whatever comes at him. Giratina can't abuse this no shield situation by going up to a higher move. And I'm just going to practice some fast move denial as we draw out this really lengthy, mega resisted battle between counters and Shadow Claws. And Obstagoon should be able to win this one pretty handily. Talonflame is still around, but I doubt it will get to another at the in the state it is at. Obstagoon's going to be able to get there. This game is closer than it looks. That Giratina has at least 2 Shadow Claws. Dragon Claws. They're probably trying to get to that third because they know they'll need 3 to KO, and it's just not gonna happen. So able to pull out this one as well. This is the first set I believe I ever played with this team. I played a bunch more and swapped the safe switches around. I played Weavile as the safe switch, Snarl Granbull's the safe switch, a bunch of different little safe switches there. And it works pretty well with all of them. So in this case, they throw already. That means it's a Moonblast, can't be a future sight. So we're going to throw Brave Bird, and we're going to get out of here. Brave Bird does an absolute ton of damage to Cresselia. We're going to switch into a Muck. And they're going to come with the Charmer. So this is what I said about baiting out the Charmers and fighting types. There aren't too many fighting types in Ultra League Premier. Or Ultra League Open, but there are quite a few fairies, and Grand Bull you don't get to Dark Pulse, Sludge Wave, so there's no reason to bait. So we're just gonna go for this double Sludge Wave. Even if they throw the Crunch here, we're gonna be able to get to it. So able to deal some good damage to that Grand Bull, and unfortunately get Psycho Cut down. But we got 2 pretty decent answers to Cress, especially with shields up. And I will shield this one, just trying to preserve a little bit of HP. Is there something, a little bit of fast move pressure in the back? I don't want Talonflame to really feel that pressure. And then they're going to switch into the Giratina. I go for the Brave Bird. This is just the safe play. Really, all I need to do is switch into Goon, and they'll likely leave the game. Yeah, so I'll switch into Goon, and yeah, and then they'll just they'll leave here. No reason to play this one out, right? It's a little bit of a long matchup, a lot of charge moves thrown. And that is Ultra League Open. Pokemon are very tanky here, but that's why you can kind of take advantage of those Pokemon with Talonflame and Obstagoon. Because the longer those matchups last, the higher chance of boost, the higher amount of boosts you can get. And it's all about setting up one of those 2, and you got to identify which one. So about setting up one of those 2 with the sweep. We have a Swampert lead here. I'm just going to go Brave Bird and then switch. I think that's the goal. And unfortunately, they CMP tie me, so very well played by my opponent. They fake CMP tie me somehow and actually get that in. And I switched to Goon. My goal here is to kind of keep this Swampert in with me as long as possible. I have now started switching to Muck, and it's really tough. Swampert lead is definitely the toughest lead you will see with this team, just because it's the one thing that Muck doesn't really cover from Talonflame. But they do eventually switch after taking a Night Slash, which means that this Swampert is in range, Flame Charge range, it's in Dark Pulse range, so it's much more manageable for the team to deal with after that. And I'm just going to let Goon go down. I've got 2 really solid answers to Cresselia. I'm looking at the HP, and this looks like a Dark Pulse plus a little bit of farm for Muck. So let's roll this Dark Pulse right away. I mean, I could have waited a little bit too just to get more farm, but in this case, I probably would have ended up with over 100 energy by the time I need to throw. So we're just going to farm up a little bit here, and by a little bit, I mean we are going to farm all the way down. Like, this Hydro Counter Earthquake's going to deal way more damage than the Moonblast, so it's much better to just be able to get this energy right now and then use it later. They make a really smart play to come in with their Abomasnow, and they catch the Dark Pulse, which is pretty big. I have a pretty tough decision to make here. I have to no shield my Talonflame because I know I'll barely live it. And we're going to go for this Flame Charge. And they're going to come back in with that Abomasnow. So this is going to be a bit tough. I have to hope that they don't shield, but it's unlikely that they'll no shield this. And it was a really good play coming in with that Abomasnow and soaking up that Dark Pulse. If I noticed there's a Abomasnow coming in, I likely would have thrown the Sludge Wave just to get shields down into that Swampert. But a little bit of a misplay on my part and a really good play on their part stops me from getting my 5-0 and easy video title, as they would call it. But yeah, so 4-1, still really good. This team has been consistently great. I'm actually not sure if I've lost a set with this team, and I've played like maybe 8 or in Open. I've lost a set in Premier with this team. Notice that there's no legendaries, right? So you can kind of swap back and forth, but Alolan Muck doesn't really have that many great matchups in Premier. Talonflame does a lot better in Open as well, and I think Goon is slightly better in Open, just against the meta. So these are 3 non-legendary Pokemon that I think have better play in Open. So we have a Talonflame on their team even coming in after I swap in my Alolan Muck, and I don't go for Sludge Waves, right? I just go for these Dark Pulses. If they Brave Bird me, they Brave Bird me. But the goal here is just to try and take down this Talonflame or force shield advantage. And if they want to Flame Charge again, that's fine. I just can't shield, because if you shield and they get some more farm, you're in trouble. So my Talonflame has a shield advantage. Their Talonflame has a boost advantage right now. So it is a pretty rough situation to be in. I know they're going to throw right away at 3. And I know I have to shield. So I am tapping that button trying to get a free Incinerate through. And unfortunately, I probably should have let one more Incinerate hit before switching. But I want to bank that energy on my Talonflame for later. And this decision might have cost me, right? If I was running Gunk Shot, maybe. But this Clefable, oh my god. I cannot believe they did not shield that Gunk Shot. Absolutely insane play. We're going to go with this Flame Charge first. And they don't shield the first Flame Charge either. So if we'd gone for the Brave Bird, we might have even been able to win this game. So they managed to call 2, not 1, but 2 baits. They had to call 2 straight baits to win this game, and they did it. So very impressive. But you can see, like, these losses that I'm having, they're incredibly close losses where if played a little bit better, or if my opponent didn't guess correctly, they would have turned into wins. So even though I'm not very comfortable with the Ultra League Open meta, this team was able to take me into queue time hell, so not able to find matches anymore for the most part. Which means there's only a couple trainers or battlers up there, so it means it's working pretty well. I have no issues putting out another Talonflame Obstagoon video here, just because I think this is an improvement over the last orientation, or at least a playstyle difference. If you like playing with that self debuffer lead, this is probably the team for you. If you don't, maybe you want Talonflame in the back. So I just want to give people some options out there. So Lapras, obviously not going to be able to take that down with Muck. But this is going to give Goon a nice little farm down. And this is what you want to see. So this is what we switched out of at the beginning. We don't want this Gyarados on our Talonflame. And it's already kind of a little bit of a scary game here. Because of the fact they're bringing in Gyarados, it means that Talonflame probably also has another bad matchup in the back. Everything that's good for Obstagoon is generally bad for Talonflame, except for those ice types, so Abomasnow. And I was thinking about switching into Talonflame here to soak some damage, but I got the boost, so at this point you're kind of obliged to stay in. And really the goal is to land Night Slash or 2 here. Yeah, and they'll just give up. They know my Talonflame is full HP too. I can switch into that. I just need to get a Brave Bird to KO that Giratina. I just need to get to a Flame Charge to KO that that Gyarados. This is a good spot. Another Gyarados lead. So these Gyarados lead teams were teams that in the previous video you actually saw me lose to. So exact same team as last time so far. And in the last video I actually lost a couple of games to this exact team. Is this home? I believe this is Home Slice Henry's team. So this orientation beats this team most of the time. I don't want to jinx it and say I win this game, but it is a pretty good lineup here. Yeah, and I don't quite get to that Dark Pulse. I don't know why this was a little bit different this time, but it's going to be less farm for the Goon and more damage taken. So I actually come in with Talonflame this time, expecting that the rest of his team is Gyarados and Giratina. Just so I can get to the Brave Bird. I decided to play it a little bit differently this time to see if it maybe is a little bit better. And we're going to be able to get that Brave Bird off. They're not going to shield, and that's a ton of damage already. That's a ton of damage. And now we have that Obstagoon versus the Gyarados, and we got the boost again. A little bit lucky in this set, but I'm pretty sure if you go through the video and count all the Night Slashes I do and all the boosts, it'll probably even out pretty close to that 12.5%, right? We're trained to look for these small patterns, getting boost 2 games in a row. It's not all that uncommon when you play Obstagoon a ton and you're throwing a ton of Night Slashes. So even this game, I believe I throw 5+ Night Slashes, maybe even more. If I only get 1 boost, that's greater than a 50% chance to happen. So it's not uncommon at all. But yeah, this player decides to play it out. It's fine. I still have my Talonflame up. I thought about no shielding because that's a safer play. Just get to that Brave Bird and win the game. But I wanted to end this game sooner than later, right? It's already dragged on for long enough. Yeah, so 2 wins in a row against the same team, and it's a very common team, at least at my rating as well. Another content creator team, right? So having a good matchup versus that is actually pretty important, and maybe even a reason in itself to switch to this team. The Obstagoon lead. This is a very good lead for Talonflame. I know if I click Brave Bird here, they're going to get their Night Slash off first if they throw it properly, and then I will get my Brave Bird off afterwards once I've debuffed. And I get the Brave Bird off, and I'll go into Alolan Muck. We're going to go for a pretty aggressive farm down here. We're not going to farm down. We're just trying to get rid of this guy at this point. He's almost at another cross chop. I probably could have went for another snarl, but the fact they're bringing Cresselia is very interesting. This is not an Alolan Muck counter, and Alolan Muck is at a certain HP right now where it can't even be Moonblasted down. It needs to take 2 Moonblasts or a Moonblast and a Grass Knot. So it'll be able to strip another shield here, at the very least. And I almost even debated shielding it, given that they're bringing in Cresselia into Alolan Muck, which means Alolan Muck is kind of really good against that team. But at the end of the day, if you can keep shields up and keep both Talonflame and Obstagoon alive, that's the dream, right? That's your core. You have to remember, Alolan Muck is that switch, right? It's that pivot to kind of lessen those hard losses and give your Obstagoon or Talonflame a chance later to sweep, and that's what we do here. Alolan Muck would have been fantastic against this Armored Mewtwo as well, but Obstagoon can handle the job just as well, if not better. You just have to have those shields for Dynamic Punch, so it's a good thing that we save those shields. It's like that they're just baiting and baiting and baiting, but it's fine. I'm watching my switch timer. I don't want to let them get to that very important ability to switch out. I want to take out that Mewtwo. I don't want to catch. And in this case, I tank this move on my Obstagoon. And then we're just going to take out this Cress. I don't want to switch and create a farm down scenario. But my Talonflame also has a move. So worst case, I'd be able to Flame Charge down one of those low HP Pokemon. A very interesting team, double Psychic. A lot of ABB starting to pop up in Open Ultra. And if you've noticed, ever since the last Talonflame video I made, there's not a lot of Registeel here. I don't know how many Registeels I actually see. Melmetal kind of gone the way of the Dinosaur too. These Steel types just aren't having a lot of fun. What I'm trying to do here is not CMP tie and lose to their Talonflame. I'm trying to Brave Bird and get out. But unfortunately, they also charge up one more. And I'll shield. So just a Flame Charge, which is super unfortunate for me. But I shield this one too, because the second Flame Charge really hurts. And they're going to come in with Clefable. And we're just going to go straight Sludge Wave this time. No reason to muck around. They just let it through, so. My goal here was to farm them down. Probably not that smart. But this gives me the ability to get some more energy on my Talonflame, which is what I want. I probably should wait the switch clock a little bit more. So I could Brave Bird and dip. But I unfortunately don't play this very smart. I go for the charge, and then I go for the Brave Bird. Where in reality, it was very clear that they were gonna shield that one. So I'm in a bit of trouble now. This Moonblast hurts a lot more than it should. And I turned this from a very easy win into a very contested game. So let that be a lesson. If you can ever have that opportunity to just Brave Bird and switch out and your backline is still fine against it, then just do it. No reason to get fancy, right? A shield is a shield. And then Talonflame can always come back and build up that energy again. Unfortunately, we're going to be hit by a Moonblast here. And it's going to be a race to the finish. And they try and catch. So they just threw that game right back. We played a little game of catch there. Threw the game to them. They threw it right back. A real father-son bonding moment here. And yeah, we're able to win that one. Even though that was a little bit of a questionable play. They were just miscounting Talonflame. Talonflame is a very hard Pokemon to count. Because the number changes a lot. Number of fast moves changes a lot depending on what they've already thrown. So it is a pretty tricky one. They probably thought I was getting to that Flame Charge right there, but really I was on the 3 side of that, not the side of that. So Scrafty lead. This is pretty good for Talonflame too, but the foul play hurts a lot more than Night Slash. And I can't really switch out in this case. Scrafty dominates, Obstagoon dominates Alolan Muck. I don't mind shielding that first one. But the second one, this is a power up punch for sure, and I shield it. It doesn't make sense. They just got 5 more, so I really should have let that through. But unfortunately I didn't. And even, I guess if I did, they probably would have been able to farm me down. So I do blow my second shield here just to guarantee that I have switch, even though it's not that important. We're going to go for the Flame Charge here against this Talonflame. It's really going to hurt. They don't shield, and they do shield. So we're able to get to this Brave Bird at the same time as them. I'm going to win CMP. Just a coin flip, right? We both have the same Talonflames, I believe. And here we go. Charmer in the back. Pretty rough for Double Dark, but we have a Alolan Muck to deal with this Clefable this time around. I've been stuck in that situation with Weavile instead. Those games are much harder. We barely get to a move. But able to pull that one out regardless. XL Scrafty, pretty scary in Open Ultra. I think it's really good. Once again, Crest lead. Talonflame loves to see Crest, but I think switching out and forcing that Crest to come back in later can be a little bit better than what I'm doing here. So what you've seen I do in other games, in this case Swampert comes in, and this might be a CMP tie. Yeah. I'll probably be shielding that anyways. But I want to get into this Obstagoon as soon as possible. Keeping that Talonflame healthy. That Hydro Cannon from Swampert is going to deal way more damage, even if it wasn't on a debuff Talonflame than Cress. And we'll see what the Swampert wants to do. If you want an Earthquake, it's fine too. Then they're out of energy and I'm able to farm down. In this case, I have a tough decision to make. I decide to shield. And they actually combo play me. Yeah, this player plays really well. So a lot of energy gone to waste on my Obstagoon. All those Night Slashes that could have been probably a booster tune there, right? But we're going to get to this Brave Bird / Flame Charge. Just go Flame Charge. The goal here is to build up on this Cress. I think I might have done It's going to be very tough to take this Crest down before the next Moonblast. So I do have to go for this Flame Charge here. And at this point, I've got a couple attack buffs. I'm really hoping that the Swampert can't come in on me. That's the goal. So I'm just going to stay and do as much damage as possible. If I switch out, my Talonflame loses everything that it's worked for. And they actually switch in and give me the win again. So kind of funny how this works out. This is not 2 games in a row, but 2 games in a very short amount of time. People slightly miscounting that Talonflame, and you're just able to get wins off of that. Yeah, Nate Doge, AK. I feel like I've played him an absolute ton. We have a Gyarados lead here. Gonna switch out of that right away, and they're gonna come with Swampert. So pretty rough team for this team to play. Potential triple water team as well, and those triple water teams are kind of the bane of Talonflame's existence. Can't really do too much except for grab that shield with Brave Bird every once in a while. And this Swampert actually lets me get to the second Dark Pulse. So I'll get shield advantage here. Very important with Talonflame. And once again, I'm going to take a Hydro Cannon. I debated shielding this to force the second shield. But each shield you spend, if you're outpaced, your opponent gets more and more of an energy lead. So I'm going to come in with Goon. And the goal here is not to spend energy, or sorry, shields. Save them for Talonflame. I'm glad the Gyarados comes back in because that's a really good check to Talonflame, and I know shield here as well. Because we're just going to go all in on this Flame Charge machine. Gyarados is in Flame Charge range. I'm going to have to start shielding some stuff soon. I let this one through. Hindsight, maybe a little bit of a mistake. That does so much damage. But playing Talonflame with a shield deficit is just good either. And at this point, the game is over. I guess not. I guess I'm still going for it. I'm hoping that it's a Giratina or something like that in the back. But I'll probably just get one-shotted down anyways by this Swampert at this HP. It was a it ended up being a Snorlax, and I kind of thought it was going to be a triple water team. So really, I should have saved I should have just shielded that that Aqua Tail. Would have been a little bit better. Yeah, mud-shotted down by that Swampert. Doesn't feel good. But it is what it is. You can't win every game, right? Got to keep that positive attitude, and it's all about learning in the early stages of this season. There's no reason to be pushing for anything, unless you're trying to look to be world first or something like that. So Giratina lead. I started to play this one a little bit differently. In the past, I have just switched a Muck. I think that's fine too, but it's pretty value being able to get that shield from Brave Bird. And we're gonna go for the Sludge Wave here against Togekiss, and they just let it through. So that'll do it. That's the thing is, once I got that shield with Brave Bird, I can just go double Sludge Wave and guarantee switch advantage versus the Togekiss. So they made the smart play, I think, by letting it go down. But at the same time, it's not a situation that they really want to be in. So I shield up my Muck here. I'm not sure why my video is skipping a little bit today. The video itself looks good, but as soon as I put it into OBS, my video making software kind of is not really working. And I'm really tempted to spend another shield here on my Muck, but spending the first one was probably already too much when I have Obstagoon in the back. And yeah, there we go. There's their next Charmer. And I go for the Flame Charge. In hindsight, Brave Bird, safer play. You just take them down. I was a bit scared of being farmed down by this Giratina to allow this Obstagoon to get a little bit, or take a little bit more charge move damage. But we're able to leverage this into what could potentially be a Brave Bird if they try to farm down. Still the Obstagoon. Very safe position right here. Able to throw this Night Slash and then one more. Oh, ooh. Yeah, you'll notice a lot of these leads, they haven't been great, but there's not a lot that Talonflame loses to in Open Ultra. There's not a lot of you're switching out of. It's really just Swampert, Giratina, stuff like that. Cress you beat, Reggie you beat, Articuno you beat. Like it's just a really nice place for Talonflame to be in. So even though I'm winning some of these matchups, I'm switching out anyways because my matchups in the back are a little bit better, and we gotta get these Swamperts out. We don't want them at the end after the Obstagoon is gone. So the Swampert swap's a little bit slow. You're gonna get to that next Dark Pulse. I don't mind if the Swampert earthquakes, right? If they earthquake, then Obstagoon can come in and finish the job. Yeah, there we go. So this is an example of Swampert going straight earthquake. It saves them a turn. They can just go double Hydro Cannon and do that in 9 turns, but they decided to do earthquake in 8. That's fine as well. And I'm just gonna go for the full farm. No, I'm not. I should have went for the full farm down. Instead, I'm going to accidentally CMP tie, and here's my loss condition. And actually, in comes the Venusaur. So I probably shouldn't have undercharged that. I was hoping to farm down a little bit more, but because their switch timer is up and they don't mind hard switching, I'm in a bit tougher of a scenario. There's a potential that they can catch these moves now, right? Catch these hands, but it's still a tough situation for them. I don't want this Venusaur getting to another Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb deals way more damage than anything else that Cresselia has. Yeah, we're gonna be able to take down this this Cresselia here. Another Flame Charge. Yeah, so we throw it. I was a bit scared we get CMP'd again. They're willing to shield, so I'm willing to shield as well. Because it's, oh yeah, this is pretty rough. They get to a Future Sight, so they baited multiple times. This player was absolutely insane. They baited multiple times. I didn't think they even had Future Sight, so I thought I was safe. But we're able to still get this win. So extremely well played by my opponent. I think they threw 4 Moonblasts at Talonflame before eventually going for that Future Sight, and they almost made that work. So very well played. They had to get those baits, but in the end, Obstagoon a little bit too powerful. They emptied their energy, and unless they make a catch there, Obstagoon's gonna be able to take them down. Here we go. XL Umbreon lead. This thing is monstrously tanky. But we're just going to try and weaken it. We're going to go in for the Brave Bird. I think this was a misplay. I should be charging up to the next tier because they can CMP tie in this case. So they CMP tie, get the foul play off, and I'm just going to switch into Muck. So this isn't a great matchup for either side. It's just really slow. And they switch into Giratina. So Giratina is your best Muck answer. In this case, honestly, Dragon Breath Giratina is pretty good against Muck. The Shadow Claw may have some more questions. But yeah, you can see that this Giratina is actually able to win this matchup by just spending a shield, and it's still relatively healthy. I don't really mind letting my Muck go down here because I do have the Obstagoon. Fortunately, it's not Shadow Claw, right? If it's Shadow Claw, this would be much better for my team. But the Dragon Breath version pressures a little bit harder, so I do want to take it out a little bit faster. I don't mind farming up a little bit more. Dragon Breath tickle, but they add up. And take down their Giratina, and there we go, reward with the boost. Haven't seen one in a while, and we finally get it. So in this case, they have a Charmer in the back. This is still a really tough scenario because they won switch advantage. And XL Umbreon is not a Pokemon that Talonflame dominates, and it's getting Talonflame a little bit too low. Obstagoon with no Gunk Shot has no play against Fable. And in this case, I really should have went for the... Oh, I did go for the Brave Bird. This is my one chance, right? Take him down, and they don't shield. So, well played to my opponent. No way I'm going to get to that Gunk Shot there. Very interesting team in the back. The Dragon Breath or Charmer backline. Very common. Very good synergy, but was able to take out my team. Has a very good matchup versus Gyarados lead. Seen a lot of this recently. We're going to switch. And this time they're going to elect to stay in. They throw a move. I really don't feel pressure to shield an Aqua Tail. It's quite a weak move. And they're going to come with Registeel. So Registeel, a Pokemon Talonflame loves to see. And it's actually the first one of this video, right? How far the king has fallen. He just doesn't have the power that he used to. Doesn't wall as much of the meta as he used to. So we'll see how this plays out. They Focus Blast. They don't need to. They just need to go for the Flash Cannon. But I'm going to farm all the way down. No need to throw any moves on Talonflame. I want 100 energy. I want to be able to come into that Gyarados and just turn around and Brave Bird him and have a ton of energy left remaining so that I can do it again later. But a lot of people not respecting the Brave Bird. Look how much damage that does. They still have 2 shields. Like, this game was not 100% over, but it definitely was as soon as they tanked that. And I get the boost again. So, yeah, these boosts come in bunches. That's 2 games in a row again with the boost. Very surprised my opponent is actually staying in. Very surprised my opponent is actually staying in the game here. Because this game is likely over. Yeah, this is the classic open ultra. Everyone has 1,000 charge moves. I don't even feel the need to shield. It's a Gyarados in the back that's kind of low. Boosted already. Eventually I'll probably have to start shielding these, but today is not the day. Yeah, we just have to play this out. Alright. Super long game that didn't need. I know some people really follow the methodology of never leaving games, but sometimes when a game is over, it's right. Yeah, and there we go. They didn't even have give me the satisfaction of finishing the full game. They just left as soon as their Giratina was maybe a little upset with my team comp countering theirs and take more time. So I accidentally tapped the screen there, so that's also something really dangerous to do with Alolan Muck. Sorry, with Incinerate. Tap, and you can't do anything for a super long time. In this case, if it's just a Leaf Blade, I can tank it and still get to the Sludge Wave. Get to the Sludge Wave this time. They already shielded once for the Dark Pulse. They don't shield the Sludge Wave. They're extremely low, but they're going to be able to farm me all the way down. So this Surfetch has a ton of energy. Now I have to make some plays here to empty this energy. So we're going to go with the Goon. They're not going to expect it. I'm hoping that it's a Night Slash, and then we're going to go into the Talonflame, catch the Leaf Blade, the coveted double catch. I don't know if I've ever done this before. I don't know if I'll ever do it again. But it's those types of plays that you're going to sometimes need to make up at the top here to win these games. The problem is I am switch locked here, but this Gyarados cannot tank a Brave Bird plus a little bit extra. And they actually switch. I'm going to go for the Flame Charge this time. Save a little bit of energy. They think I have no reason to bait, but there is some reason. And in this case, I'm just going to switch to my Goon. If they superpower right away, that's fine. It doesn't KO. But a superpower after a Body Slam KOs. So we'll see if they want to bait me here. They do. But because I think they just got to it, I should be able to get to my second Cross Chop. Probably should have thrown one earlier, just in case. But we're gonna get that second Cross Chop off before you just charge up faster than Snorlax, and your move is cheaper, so you're very clearly gonna get that in. So 2 catches there to win that game. Big effort plays to salvage this set a little bit, but we're not done yet. Let's see what we have going on here. Melmetal lead. This one's pretty tough. I actually try and catch because I don't really have a good matchup versus Melmetal at all. So you can throw 2 Incinerates and try and catch. If they throw Rock Slide right away, you'll catch it. There's no reason for them to do that though. Even if I didn't switch, even if I just kept attacking, I'll get a free Incinerate through probably. So the play is to count to 7 Thunder Shocks for them. That's all you have to do versus Talonflame. It's very easy to play versus Talonflame, but a lot of people aren't taking the effort to learn how to do that. And it's a night and day difference playing well versus Talonflame versus not playing well and timing your move correctly versus. And it's the same for the other longer turn charge moves, but Incinerate is the longest one of them. So in this case, I do shield. Swampert, you don't like getting a shield disadvantage with Talonflame, but it is kind of important to get this Swampert a little bit lower, not take it out. Let Talonflame can Incinerate it down. So in this case, we're gonna no shield here. Because they're able to, or they're gonna debuff themselves. That's really our only play. I accidentally go over 100 energy here. So misplay, and then I tilt myself off the face of the earth. And no shield the Brave Bird. But my only win condition was no shielding a Flame Charge. it was a tough call to make, but I did have to make it. They had 2 shields on their Talonflame, so they played their Talonflame game a little better than I played mine. So another Escav lead. You love to see these. And the swap into Cress. I switch into Muck now with this switch in because you do want to save the Talonflame for Escav. And this is a pretty comfortable win, even if you swap a bit slow. This is my first time really thinking too hard about a Cress swap in. Usually people don't swap Cress into Talonflame. So I just went with my gut instinct, reacted a little bit slowly, and it's what I still do with this team. I played a bunch more Cress swap-ins recently. They actually bait me, which is absolutely insane. I wouldn't have minded no shielding that. This Cress seems a little bit more attack-weighted than most. I usually leave this matchup with a lot more HP, so I don't know if it's hitting a breakpoint or something with those Psycho Cuts. But recently I haven't even had those issues, and you're able to take down that Cress. They aren't able to avoid that matchup with the Talonflame, and I'm able to bring this Obstagoon back in with this matchup against Gyarados. Yeah, this time Gyarados is a little bit more of a less comfortable matchup versus Obstagoon than it does versus Muck. I think Obstagoon can actually force this with shields, but I also don't really feel the need to shield Aqua Tail because it's so weak. We'll see if they shield though, and then it actually will be kind of important for me to be able to get to that next Night Slash. So they shield. Yeah, you gotta trust the bulk. My IVs, if you look at the IVs on the right, you get a lot of 10s. These aren't a lot of optimized Pokemon for PvP. They're not great, but I did preserve my shield, so I'm able to save my Talonflame a ton of HP, and obviously this Escav switches in to catch some damage. We're going to take it out before it gets to a move, and then obviously Gyarados has no play against Talonflame, still with Incineroar remaining. That's the games. Hopefully you guys aren't completely sick of Talonflame Obstagoon yet, but I guess this will probably be the last video with them. At least for this season, right? If a team needs changes in future seasons and I need to update that with the meta, then I'll do that. But in this case, Talonflame, Alolan, Muck, Obstagoon feels really good. Maybe it'll be better with Snorlax, but I don't know. This is pretty good as is. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about how to play the team, obviously put those in the comments. I'll link my socials in the description. If you like this kind of content, hit that like, subscribe button, everything like that. And let me know in the comments for sure too. But as always, guys, thanks for watching.